Hey horror fans, welcome back to Room 237. Gonna attempt another blind review, a movie I haven't seen in a while, but I've seen quite a few times. And I figured since I'm going through all my Italian films, it was a matter of time before I got to this one. Cannibal Holocaust. Possibly my favorite Italian film. Now, this one says the most controversial film ever made. That I could probably agree with. I mean, this movie is loved by many, hated by more, maybe. It's directed by Ruggero Deodato, came out in 1980. Heavily controversial. I mean, one of the biggest video nasties. He actually had to go to court to prove that the actors and actresses in it were still alive, because this was the closest to a snuff film that had ever come out at that point. The movie Snuff from 1976, which I already reviewed, is a piece of shit. That went through the same thing, but this is more snuffy than snuff. The first half of the film is done like a documentary, more or less, while the second half is found footage. And actually, this movie is what inspired the Blair Witch Project, which is a movie I love. A lot of people hate because they think it's fake. No shit. And they say nothing happens, but it's what you don't see that's scary. It's called style. Like, isn't Jaws scary because you don't see the shark for the first half? I don't get why people hate on Blair Witch Project. But anyway, I get why people hate on this. Those that do hate it. Because it is horrific. It is grotesque. The animal deaths are authentic. They really do kill animals on camera. Which I've always been, if you kill an animal, I'm not a hunter, but if you kill an animal, eat it. They do eat one. It's a meerkat. But some of the other deaths, it seems like they do it just for gags. I'll get into what I mean. Which, one of the animal deaths is a giant spider. I fucking hate spiders. Fuck them. To hell with spiders. They're gross. But, there is the meerkat. Kind of sucks to see. The tortoise is really terrible to watch. I first heard about this movie when I was a senior in high school. And then I found the store that I go to was able to get it. I actually cut class so I can go buy it. And I actually got to school and I was showing people like the inside artwork. Like, wait, isn't that fucked up? Yeah. Can't see it because of the spine, but that is a woman with the post going through her bottom and out her top. Famous impaling scene, which was in all the original posters, which I would rather have than this, but anyway. So yeah, Cannibal Holocaust. It opens up with beautiful music done by Ritz Ortolani. How the hell did this go in there? Like that. Beautiful music put over aerial views of the rainforest. And there are 4 Americans, 3 guys and 1 woman, who are a documentary film crew. They became famous because the cameraman did a documentary on Vietnam. Or if it wasn't Vietnam, it was something similar. I don't really remember. It's been a while since I've seen it. They're going to the Amazon to make a documentary on primitive tribes. Some months go by, they haven't returned. So they send this professor, I guess like an anthropologist. They send him with a guide of the area to see if he can find them. And you get some horrific stuff along the way, and eventually he finds this one tribe that is cannibalistic, but they seem kind of nice. They're all pissed off at the white man. You find out why. Then he comes across this savage tribe that he has to win over, and he finds these... God damn it. fucking thing. He finds these 2 film reels. He wins their trust, and he gets the film reels, and then we get the second half of the movie when we're in New York, and this film studio wants to show the footage, which the professor had already watched, and he's urging them not to show it. So then we are sort of watching it with them, and that's where all the really fucked up shit is. I mean, the first half, it's the professor with the guide. You know, they capture a young boy, tribes boy, that they sort of use as bait. They sort of use him as like, don't fuck with us because we have him. They give him cocaine at one point. One scene that sticks out is they come across this ritual where this tribeswoman, I guess, committed adultery. So she gets pulled by boat to this remote area, and I'm gonna get graphic in explaining what happens. So, I mean, if you have to see every Italian movie or messed up movie out there, I have to recommend it because it is the holy grail of that. But if you don't like really graphic stuff like animal deaths or rape or really authentic looking snuff film type stuff, don't listen to this or watch this. I know a lot of people that won't even own this movie. So yeah, this woman must have committed adultery. The guide is explaining this. So they take like this thing of mud and they stick rocks and sticks in it and use it on her, if you will. It's bloody, and they beat her to death with it. I mean, they're off in the distance watching, and the professor wants to intervene, but the guide tells him, no, we don't know what will happen. This is a sacred ritual for them. But, you know, the guide tries to fit in. You know, he swims naked with some of the tribeswomen trying to fit in. One other guy has to get naked when he gives the boy back to show he's not armed or anything. But, you know, the real horrific stuff is when he finds the savage tribe. You know, there's a lot of body parts laying around, tribes people eating human stuff. But then when we actually watch the film footage, we realize, and sort of the point of the movie is, we civilized people, Americans I guess, can be just as hostile and vicious and terrible as those we try to sensationalize. Because you find out that the camera crew that did the documentary before spiced things up a bit. They made shit happen for the documentary. Like in this, there's a part where they set fire, like earlier when I said the tribe that's pissed off, they set fire to all their huts, and this is when the music is really swelling up and it's very beautiful sounding. Na, 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 da, na, na, na. And you sort of see them all crying and screaming as their homes are being burnt down by the white people as they're filming it, because they're trying to get them to look like savages, and they're gonna try to cut it so it looks like, yeah, this is what the Amazon is like. But then of course they get to and then the part where they killed the tortoise is really horrific. I actually didn't like it first time I saw it. I skipped through that when I watch it, because it's very long and it's disgusting and it's sad. You know, I don't agree with killing animals just for the sake of a film. At least they ate the meerkat, or they made it look like they did. But that tortoise, that was horrific to see. But you know, I do like the parts where the cannibalistic tribe goes after the camera crew. It's really horrific. Like, the only reason why I'm not explaining it too much is because you'll just have to see it. I mean, they they rape some of the tribeswomen. They beat them. They come in with guns and they shoot their animals. They shoot one of their pigs, and they do things to spice it up for their documentary. And like there's parts where bodies are displayed out and they have like these bone axes and they're just like gutting them out, and it looks real. I will say that. And of course they come across the impaled woman and they're not really horrified. They think it's beautiful. They're like, get that, get that. Then of course at the end of the film, the TV crew that said, we have to show this film. We have to show what happened to like our people. They even say, burn it and destroy it. And this can never be seen. Pretty much to show that, sometimes the civilized people are just as disgusting as those that we think are. Kind of a bleak or hippie way to look at it, but sadly it's probably not that far off. But you know what? You can't really talk too much about a film. It's one of or a film like this. It's one of those movies that you can't really talk about. You just have to see it. Like I can try to talk about it all I want, but it's one of those things you just have to witness. It's something you won't forget. It's something that can make you uncomfortable, can make you feel bad. It is a sick movie, but it's very well made. I gotta admit that. It is probably my favorite Italian film. Of course, this is Eli Roth's favorite film, and he sort of did a quasi-remake called The Green Inferno, which I like. It is quite different than Cannibal Holocaust, but again, just some of the dead bodies that are found, like everything, again, animal deaths are real, but everything else looks very authentic. And the director and producer were arrested upon release and the film was seized. It's one of the most nihilistic movies out there. That's the term I was looking for. And, this comes with a lot of features, but it's almost all in Italian. Yeah, this came with a poster, which I have hanging over there. But yeah, all I can say is it's one of those, if you dare, go check it out. I mean, yeah, it's not like August Underground or anything like that. This has more substance to it. But, it is one of those, you're definitely going to feel something by the end of it. Again, probably a bad review. I don't even know if you can review this. Even if I watched this beforehand, I wouldn't really know how to talk about it. It's just one of those things that you can tell people, if you really want to, go check it out. It's probably my favorite Italian horror film, though. So, yeah, Cannibal Holocaust. Not too much you can say about it, but that's that. So, for Room 237, thank you.